love script supervising because you get to be like in the heat of it, you know? You're never out of the loop. You know everything that's going on. You're kind of omniscient in a sense because you're right there in Video Village, right next to the director. But at the same time, you don't bear the responsibility. You're like the backup person, you know. I'm just nosy and I constantly have a fear of missing out. So I think being a script supervisor, I can be there, be present, and know everything that's happening, and that's great. My journey into script supervising started during the pandemic. I was looking at film production jobs and trying to see what type of job is fits the best for me because I've always been into filmmaking, but it was always just me and my own camera editing my own stuff. And then I found script supervising. I did a couple of short films, student films, and then I was like, I want to do more, but I also don't want to feel overwhelmed. We're a one-person department, so there's no way for me to shadow or assist anyone, especially because it was the height of COVID. So they were really restricting the amount of people on set, so that was even less of an option. So that was what helped me make the decision of like committing to this course. It feels like a while ago. I think I graduated maybe like 2 years ago or something like that. It's been a hot second. But I think overall, what I feel like I took away, I really like how you approached the whole like director whispering part, you know, like communicating with the director, understanding the communication styles and kind of working with them. And that is really important. Something that I'm constantly working on is just negotiation and like knowing your worth. And I think that's something that you mentioned a lot, and it's something that I still need to be working on. And I also appreciate the fact that you're not like pushing a specific program, like script supervising program, in terms of like, you know, Scarrett, Scripty, whatever. And so it's a lot more inclusive, and it kind of allows us to have a bit more freedom with how we take down our notes and all that, and like create our own process. And I think that is extremely important to not kind of be forced to fit into a certain process. You know, your advice and your teaching is like pretty general towards like any program that we would use and any style that we would, you know, use to approach. So I think that was really great. Since I've graduated, I mostly worked on narrative stuff. So I started out with short films. I've done a couple of features. In the past year, I have been deep in the vertical land. So I've been doing verticals constantly. I literally just wrapped a vertical yesterday. So that's kind of been my career trajectory. I've done a couple of commercials as well, which were fun, but I do enjoy narrative more than anything. My goal is to just work on bigger and bigger projects, longer term projects. A TV series would be awesome. Another big feature. I worked on this feature that was shooting for like 2.5 months on 35 mil. We shot at Kenosha, Wisconsin, and also in Miami, Florida for a couple of weeks. It was an incredible experience. The crew was lovely, so it was a great time. And I mean, shooting on location is like a big summer camp. That's what it is. You know, you're just hanging out with the same people every single day. You shoot for 12 hours and then you're hanging out at the bar in the evening, and then, you know, next morning you see each other again. And so it's a true bonding experience. And of course you get to like see so many places, so many locations that you've never been to before and that you might not even think to go to. Like, if not for this movie, I wouldn't go to Kenosha, Wisconsin. So it definitely brought a lot of fun opportunities, and it's just such a joy to travel for work. And it's definitely something I want to do more of, especially considering I can work in Europe if I had to, because I have a European passport. So I think it would be really, really cool if I could get to travel because of this. I think the biggest thing about your course is the amount of support afterwards. The course itself is amazing, but I think what is even better is the follow-up after that. The Facebook group of all the alumni is an incredible place. So many people just trading information and tips and tricks and sometimes job opportunities. And I think, especially, you know, again, being a one-person department, having that community is so incredibly important. And times are changing really fast. You know, verticals weren't a thing, you know, more than a year ago. And so because of that, having this page where people are constantly updating each other about things that are new and new things, like the rates changing, the different culture within the film industry changing, like all of this, you can be kind of still tapped into that just because you're part of this community. And the fact that you do live stream so regularly and are open to everybody's questions, and it's such like an open town hall platform, it is very rare, and I think that is probably the most valuable part of the course, besides obviously the course itself. Yeah, it was a great choice.